Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Folagbade, and in this video I want to share with you 10 dating and parenting lessons from A Tribe Called Judah, the recent movie by Funke Akindele, right? It's going to be an interesting one, and I want you to stay with me as I just go down with each of them in this video. So welcome. Now, the movie was interesting and beautiful, and even though it was, written in a different concept, it's not really talking about marriage and all of that, but somehow I was able to pick these lessons that can also help you. But the first thing is get to know people beyond their words and promises. Remember the scenario where a man was insulting her that she has 5 children from 5 different men, more like making her look like a slut, and she had to explain this to, the wife of this man. Now, while she was explaining, she talked about how she had met one of these men, and after everything, the family said, oh, they don't want someone from that tribe, and another one had died, another one had taken her money. They all just had different reasons why they left. Now, powerful, right? But I want to say to you, when you meet people, you have to take things easy. Like, watch people's patterns, take note of people's background, take note of their upbringing, and all of this would only be achievable when you communicate in your relationship. I know that we are always very quick to want to have fun and just fall in love and be led by your emotions, but see, to avoid story that touch, it's always good that you pay attention to many things that people are saying and even what they're not saying. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to get to know more about them. Don't make it look like an interview anyway, but just get to know them. Talk about their family, their preferences, expectations. Talk about the belief system. Talk about the kind of marriage they want to have, their plans, or what kind of relationship are they looking out for. Some people are just trying to date for dating reasons, just have fun. But maybe you are thinking commitment, and then you go into certain parts that you should not take. So first thing is get to know people beyond their words and their promises. The second lesson is avoid sexual entanglements that lead you into an unwanted and unplanned path. I know this one is going to look hard on you, especially if you're of the school of thoughts that sex is how you communicate love to your partner, and it's a way of testing if this person is good for you or not, compatibility and all of that, right? But let me tell you, many times as a counselor, I noticed that in our work, when we're counseling singles or even the married people who have had to they've gone through infidelity, adultery and all of that, I've noticed that just not being able to control yourself, your sexual life, can lead people to many areas that they never wanted to be. Now, she probably would not have had 5 children if she was more careful around our value system and really just playing safe. Except you are in that relationship to just have fun, right? No, that's different. But I'm speaking now to an audience who really wants to promote godliness, right? It's important for you to be more committed in other areas. Get to know your partner, get to talk about other important things, and allow yourselves to grow and really commit before you get to that point, right? This would really reduce a lot of issues we're having in the community and the society at large. A lot of unwanted pregnancies, a lot of life-altering decisions that has happened. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying that if you want to have a healthier relationship, take away certain things and really see how that relationship will go along the way. Do you see? So the third thing I want you to look at is look out for genuine reasons before choosing to commit to someone. Okay, let's look at the story of Ejiro and Testimony. If you notice, Testimony was not after his money. She was not after comfort, and I'm not saying that she should not look out for that, right? But if you notice, she was someone who had a genuine kindness towards him. She was compassionate. She was not really all about the material things. And if you notice, she was always looking out for how he can be a better person. For instance, she wanted to connect him to people who can buy his painting. She was, even when he gave her money after the robbery, she was still saying, use this money to take care of your mother. That is a sign of a person who is sacrificial, who is very kind and selfless. Now, why is this important? If you look at the story of how the servant of Abraham connected with Rebecca, when he was praying about the desire to get married, he said, Lord, give me someone who is hospitable, someone who is going to not just give me a drink, but even offer the camels a drink. When you go study that story in the book of Genesis, you see that when she came, she did not only give him water, she even offered to give water to the camel. That is a trait that shows a sign of selflessness and love. And it's important that you look out for things like this, traits like this, when you're meeting people. Don't just focus on how big the car is, how busty they are, how all those physical things that can fade away. Look out for things that will not fade away, okay? And number 4, I want to speak to ladies, okay? And this also applies to men. But if you notice, even though she had 5 children, 5 responsibilities, it didn't make her to begin to live sexually immoral lifestyle. She was also focused on how she can be a better person, and so she was trying to do 1 or 2 things. She had this keke business that she was doing. She was doing her best to sell and just really make sense of her life. Now, sometimes we seem to have excuses for certain lifestyle that we have. And remember, I'm not judging you. I'm just encouraging you that look out for something you can start to do that can provide funds for you. And it doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to be able to afford and 1 million naira hair. No, sometimes just being content, just choosing to live that content lifestyle is really going to save you from a lot of mess at the end of the day, especially with the pressure that we have these days. Ladies want to have all of the amazing hair, use the latest phones, drive the latest cars, and even guys today, we have a lot of men who are now going into illegal businesses, betting, gambling, and all sort of things just to survive. But I want to encourage you that you can start something small, do something decent and live a life that is free of unnecessary chaos and consequences. So if you're single and you are listening to me right now, I want to encourage you to find something to do so that when you finally meet the person you want to marry, you will not be a liability, but instead you'll be a contributing factor to that marital relationship, okay? Number 5. Now, this is going to speak to single parents. One of the beautiful things I love in that movie is how, Funke Akindele was not, so let's call her Mama Ejiro, right? Let's call her Mama Ejiro. She was not defining herself based on that situation. If you're listening to me, I want you to know that the fact that you have, gotten pregnant outside of wedlock, or you had a divorce, or maybe something has gone wrong in your marriage or your life, I don't want you to look down on yourself. Don't define yourself through the lens of society. Don't allow your condition to define you. You are still a human being. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are the best that you can ever be. Your mistakes does not define you. You are evolving, and everything that you have currently gone through is still going to lead you to a greater end if you maximize your life. So please stop labeling yourself with the wrong labels. That's not who you are, okay? Your condition does not define who you are. 6. When it comes to parenting, it's important that you know that you have to be very intentional about it. One of the things I noticed about Mama Ejiro is that even though she was busy trying to make her own, means, get funds for the family, she was also present in their lives. She had times to discuss with them, to learn more about them, to understand what they were going through. She was a listener. She was listening to them, and she was always reminding them about how to live a better life. So it's important that you stay present in the life of your children, and I mean emotional presence, right? If you notice, there was so much connection between she and the children. Why? Because she was emotional, she was vulnerable with them, and that in itself is one way to stay connected and build a bond with your children. So that is a parenting lesson that you want to take advantage of. Number 7 is, if you're a single parent, I want you to prayerfully and intentionally look out for a father figure or a mother figure for your children. Now, you don't have to go and look for someone you want to date or marry out of pressure just because you want to be, you want to keep them a father or a mother. No, sometimes it could just be a mentor. So it could just be maybe a spiritual figure or an uncle, somebody that they can respect, that can be like a mentor, that can guide them, that can really help them when they are making mistakes, because there's always that great advantage when we have the male and the female persons present in the life of a child. When a mother raises a child on her own, sometimes it's that missing touch that a father would have given. Okay, and when it's the other way around, also there's also that space where a mother's advice and counsel will come. And see, you don't always have to look out for this the wrong way. You can simply just sometimes enroll your children in mentorship opportunities and environments that can help them to find this kind of anchor that they need in their life. It's very important, and I hope that you would find such figure for them. And number 8 is love your children equally and let it be evident to them. If there's something that Mama Hejiro was able to achieve in that movie, it's the fact that she was always showing love and compassion to her children almost the same way. She would never allow one person to try to be above the other person. She would never try to make the other person feel like, oh, you're my favorite, nothing must touch you. She was always very fair with them. And what that does is it promotes healthy relationship between children, because these days when you see sibling rivalry, it's because there've been a lot of favoritism, comparison, always being critical to this other person. All of that can lead to children growing up with a lot of resentment and sibling rivalry and all of that. So I would say to you as parent that it's important that you show equal love to your children so that they can love themselves and know that they are all loved the same way. Okay, number 9 is home training is not old school. You see, when you're grooming your children, don't focus on the present alone. Now, if you notice, even though Mama Ejiro tried her best to parent those children in the ways that she could, right? We still have people like Emeka and Adabu who still had that home training in them. These days, we're noticing that parents are beginning to get loose with their children. There's no intentional parenting, there's no curriculum. You're not intentionally, making your children to learn through some kinds of, education. And I don't mean school education. There are a lot of parenting coaches today like Chris Bowell, Wendy Ologe, who are intentionally promoting, parenting tips and insights that can really, really help a lot of parents. And one of the best things you can do for your children is to invest in yourself and allow yourself to become the proper model that can, model what you're trying to teach your children. It's important for you to show and model to your child what you want them to become, even through your attitudes and your actions. So parenting is first about you and then what you're passing on to your children. Remember that children don't pick what you just teach them. They actually pick what you model to them. So make parenting an intentional lifestyle for you, okay? And so let's go to the last point, which is number 10. If you notice, even though Mama Ejiro, which is Funke Akindele, was really just living the life that she could live at that point, because she was doing everything she could do with what she understood, she was still a prayerful person. Yeah, forget about the whole anointing oil, spraying and sprinkling and all of those funny things that she did, but she still committed her children into God's hands. And I just want to encourage you with this last point that you should pray for yourself, pray for your children, pray concerning their future, concerning their choices, concerning their lifestyles, the friends they will have. You may not see the effect yet, but trust me, you would see the effect as you go on. And if you need tips around praying for your children, I will just give you this tip. Instead of just praying what you want or what you think that they should become, go into the scripture if you're a Christian and look out for verses that speaks to children. So for instance, where we have in Psalms 1 verses 1, it says that we should not walk according to the counsel of the ungodly, or stand in the ways of sinners, or sit in the seat of the scornful. You can pray and say, my child, say your child is James. James will not work according to the counsel of the ungodly, but instead, it will work in this and that. It will do this and that. Be intentional about what you're saying concerning your children, and somehow God will make sure that everything aligns and becomes exactly what you've prayed for. So, have you watched A Tribe Called Judah? If you have not watched it, I want to encourage you to go ahead and watch it and pick the lessons. Don't just laugh, pick the lessons and really just review. Tell me what you think about the 10 different lessons I have shared with you, and tell me in the comment section which of them do you really like the most. Okay, now if you enjoyed watching this video, I want you to share this with your friends and on social media and get people to come watch this review. Thanks for watching and take care of yourself. Bye.